Hello everybody! Hello everybody and welcome back to Jazzy61. I'm Jazz. In today's video it's going to be a story time. I'm going to tell you about me going into labor and how my labor and delivery went. So today's video is supposed to be a hair tutorial, but as you see, ain't no hair on my head. What happened was the hair is supposed to came, hair ain't here. So I look like this for right now. I still be uploading that video on Saturday, so be on the lookout for it. And on Monday, I will be doing a mom bod update. Before we get into this story time, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. I even saw some new ones come in. Thank you. I see you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this video, go ahead and hit that button down. Let me give you some time. I might give you some time on. Did you do it? You did it yet? Do it? What about now? Alright, cool. In all seriousness, I would appreciate some more subscribers, some more people coming to the fam, so please go ahead and join us. I'll be posting videos like this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. The Friday and Saturday alternate, and the videos will be uploaded between 4:30 and 5:30 on each of those days. So let's just start off by saying my son did not come out on time. He was like almost a week behind his due date, and I was having contractions, but I didn't feel them most of the time, and so he didn't seem to want to come out on his own. We tried to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and he wasn't trying to come out by himself. So I go in, after his due date, and my doctor just wants to check everything, make sure he's still fine, everything is still normal in there, and that's when they see the extra fluid. And then my husband's like, can we evict him today? She was like, do you want to? He said yes. I said yes. She said okay. By this time I was not sleeping. I was so tired. My feet were puffed up. I was just in a rough shape, to the point where my hands were swollen and they had to cut my wedding rings off of my fingers. So we get the paperwork, everything together. I go in that very same night at about 9:30 or so. They get me set up in a room, and they put this huge IV needle in my hand. Why nobody tell me about that IV needle? See, somebody could have told me about that needle. That bad boy hurt. It was nothing to play with. I talked trash. My baby sister got hers, and I almost cried when I got mine. It was something serious. So I eat and everything before I get there. My husband's laid out on this couch thing. He was excited because they gave him a warm pillow. I don't know. And I could not sleep. Though I should have been asleep, I could not get any sleep that night. They gave me a sleeping pill. They gave me something to get my labor going, and they told me to get some rest. But my son didn't like the positions that I was sitting in, so they kept coming in and adjusting my body and raising me up and laying me down and moving my legs just so they could get his heartbeat and everything on the monitors. So I'm doing fine. Everything is good up until about 9:30, 10 o'clock that next morning. My doctor came in at 7 to make sure that everything was okay. They were checking me, but I was like barely moving, you know what I mean? Because every time I went in to get checked, I wasn't more than I think 1. And the 1 happened the day she checked me to induce me. So they just kept checking and making sure everything was okay. And come about 9:30, 10 o'clock, them contractions kicked in. So I'm sitting here contracting. My mom and my sister were there, but they had to leave. And my husband is just standing there trying to hold my hand. And I remember wanting to cry. Like, it was so painful. I wanted to cry, but the cries wouldn't come out. So I'm just sitting there going, So after about an hour and a half, 2 hours of that, they finally come in. My doctor's like, do you want to get the epidural? Because like I said, I was trying to hold it off for as long as I could. And I was like, go ahead, bring that needle on in here. I can't do it no more. And of course he comes in and he's like, you're a lot taller than I anticipated you being. And I was like, yep. So he gave me a little bit of extra medicine because I guess maybe the medicine wouldn't have touched my toes. I don't know. He gave me some more. You gotta think about it. When I was at my biggest during my pregnancy, I'm 6'2" and I was about 285 pounds at this time. So I need a little bit of extra, you know what I'm talking about? So finally, the epidural kicks in. I'm sitting here, I'm resting, or at least I was trying to, because every time I fell asleep, they told me the baby don't like that position, move. I was absolutely exhausted. Another thing that nobody tell me, they put a catheter in. Look here, that was unpleasant. It wasn't unpleasant when they put it in, but it was unpleasant when they took it out. It was really weird seeing something on the side of the bed holding your pee. That was so strange to me. Next time I might just pee on myself. I don't think I'm feeling that next time, because when they took that bad boy out, Lord have mercy. Anywho, my sister and my mom finally come back. We all in the room chilling, and my epidural starts wearing off. After like a few hours, it just kind of wore off. I was like moving my feet and stuff like that. I remember saying to my husband, pressure. I feel like pressure, like there's pressure, like I think I need to start pushing, like this is uncomfortable. So I'm kind of starting to wiggle, but my epidural was wearing off. So at some point during that day, the lady had come back in to give me some more medicine and with the epidural or whatever, but she didn't give me enough, and it wore off so fast. I'm talking, it was within like 30-40 minutes that bad boy had no effect. I remember telling my doctor and the nurses, I can feel my feet, like I'm moving my toes, like I can feel my feet, like it's sort of kind of still numb a little bit, but I can move my legs. Like I think I told my sister that too, I can move my legs, like. But I felt pressure, so your girl was finna push. I wasn't finna hold that no more. I was tired. He had to come out. So my husband or somebody went out to get a doctor. I don't really know. I'm talking, I had barely slept from the night before, and the night before that, and the night before that, I was sleeping. My doctor comes back in. She's this little bitty lady, so she always stands beside us and make jokes about being the size of one of our children. So she's like, you feel like you gotta push? Do you need to push? I'm like, yeah. They had one of these newfangled beds, you know, they just kind of move you around, the legs drop up and down and spread and all this other junk. I was in one of them things. They just kind of moved me how they wanted to. I didn't have to actually move myself, which was cool because I was too tired to move by myself anyway, so that worked out just fine for me. So then I started pushing. I was pushing hard. When I say I was pushing hard, it felt like it wasn't doing nothing. I was pushing so hard. I was out of breath. I was tired. And he wasn't coming out. I don't understand why he wasn't coming out, but he wasn't coming out. And my big sister looked down there for some reason. I don't know why she looked down there. She made the most unpleasant face when she looked at me, but I'm not sure what she was looking for down there when she looked, but she looked. My husband didn't want to look. He didn't want to see that. He was like, he didn't want to have those nightmares, so he didn't look down there. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and it feels like ain't nothing happening. And then my doctor says the one thing that you do not want your doctor to say to you when she down there and you try to push. She looked me right in my face and she said, I have to cut you. I'm sitting here like, what you mean you got to cut me? She says, I gotta cut you. You pushing, you giving some really good pushing, but it's like solid muscle down here. He can't get out. I ain't even care no more. I was so tired. I was like, go ahead, do your thing. I saw that big old needle she had to put in to numb it. The needle wasn't so bad. It was like a little pinch, and then you didn't feel anything else. So now we back at it. I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing. Feel like ain't nothing happening. Then my doctor looked me right in my face again and she said, we gotta get the vacuum. Some of it like, a vacuum? A vacuum? See, that's another thing I did not know, was that they use vacuums to help get the babies out. And y'all, my son just wasn't trying to come out. He was cool with his first studio apartment. Free food, roof over his head, all that. He didn't need to leave. So I think I pushed for like another 15 minutes maybe, and he was finally out. And it was such a big sigh of relief. I got one picture from in there when he pulled out. I don't want y'all to see that picture because I look like 12 miles of bad road. Now, mind you, this all happened and I could feel it. Like, I could genuinely feel all this stuff, which is how I felt the needle that she put in the number to do the episiotomy to cut me with. I could feel that. I remember when I was pushing, I was letting out these yells like I was some sort of a Spartan warrior. I mean, I was not holding back, okay, because it was something serious trying to get him out. And then when my son finally comes out, He holds his head up and he looks at me. I'm talking straight up eye contact, just. Now, in my community, the elders always say that when a child is developed and he's developing quite fast, that they just making room for the next one. In that moment, that was not what I wanted to hear. Y'all, I was tired. That big old needle was still in my arm. I could feel my legs as they were sewing me up in my other parts. And rub. I could feel that dang up catheter. Let me tell you something. That was some of the most uncomfortable stuff. I didn't understand my life in that moment. So it's all beautiful in the room, oh, the baby's out, woo, everybody's all happy. My husband's over here looking all emotional and whatnot, and I'm looking over him like, get me something to drink. I'm tired. I need a Gatorade or something. I am out of breath. Somebody get me something. And he finally, like I said, cut the umbilical cord and everything, and they put the little placenta on the table, and my mom's sitting over there staring at it. And my doctor was like, it looks cool, right? You want to touch it? My mom's like, yeah, go get you a glove. And then my mom was like poking at the placenta. I don't know. My mom was really interested in things like that. I don't know. They hand them to you for a little bit of like a moment so you can kind of hold your baby. Oh, it's so sweet and it's cute. Then they take them and they weigh him and they clean him up and they get his footprint and his little thumbprint and give him his first, I think it's a shot of like hep something, but standard new baby stuff. Then they say that they'll take the catheter out once you can walk. Y'all know I could walk, right? I could like feel. This is what I mean by like I could feel. My epidural like wore off while I was pushing. Like before I was started pushing, I could feel. So she was like, well, when you can walk, we'll take the catheter out, and they were finna move me from one room to the next after they got the baby all cleaned up and I got a new little, some kind of a robe on me or whatever. And she said, well, when you can walk, I just stood up and walked to my wheelchair and sat down. And she was like, oh. And I was like, mm-hmm. My husband gets all the bags. I'm holding the baby. They wheel us to a smaller room. I don't know. They put us in such tiny spaces. Like, I'm not 6'2" and he not 6'10". But, we make it work wherever we go. The other room, of course, I can still feel everything. So my body just hurts in general. Not just, what I'm saying? Like, people usually have the epidural, on them for a little bit longer. I didn't have it no extra time. So all the pains that you feel coming after labor and delivery, I felt them like almost, not even almost, I felt them immediately. So we over there sitting down, the nurse comes in, I ask her for some pain medication. She says, is the epidural still, and I said, ma'am, I walked to my chair. I can walk from here to the door right now if you need me to. She said, oh, well, let me go and get you such and such so I can take this catheter out. So I'm sitting in the bathroom at this time and she's like, oh, I gotta deflate something. And I'm like, deflate something? She had to suck the air out of something to get the thing out. It hurt. It was uncomfortable to me to have that thing pulled out. So I'm sitting here like, you gotta pee about 3 times tonight or something before her shift was over or something like that. And it was unpleasant, y'all. It was so unpleasant to me. And to make matters worse, there was stitches. So I really was not trying to like do not touch my lady bits, okay? I was popping ice packs like crazy, okay? They had the ones that you pop and then they get cold and then so I had ice packs and they had like warm water if you went to the restroom. And this is the part that people don't show you. You know what I'm talking about? They be showing y'all that cute stuff and oh, look at my baby. They don't show you the bleeding and the discomfort and the cramping and the fatigue and the starvation. Because I was starving by the time I had my son and moved to the other room. My husband just knows me so well. Best words that I heard aside from, he's so healthy and cute, was when my husband looked at me and said, you hungry? I know I was starving. Heck yeah, I was hungry. He left at 1 o'clock in the morning to go get me some Taco Bell. The night I had my son, I ate everything. Good thing was my stomach like immediately started to deflate. And I guess it was because there was so much excess fluid on my stomach at the time that, it just kind of went real quick. I was hoping to go home the next day. My doctor was like, that's a no for me, dog. You're going to be here for at least 3. It was cool and everything, but for some reason at the hospitals, they only bring food for like the mother. Like my husband ain't there. Like what he supposed to eat? Mm, mm. So we pretty much shared all my food while I was at the hospital if he didn't go out and get something for himself to eat. And nobody told me how emotional you get and how emotional you are after you have a baby. Because they must have came in to take my son to do his circumcision, and Lord, I must have started crying. I cried like a big old baby, and I'm like, they gonna hurt my baby. I don't want them to hurt my baby. My husband's like, it's okay, calm down, he'll be fine. I'm like, no, he won't. They ain't gonna hurt my baby. I don't want nobody to hurt my baby. I guess it was okay, you know. I was just overly emotional for some reason. Our son did not leave the room when we were there. He stayed in our room. The only time he left was for his circumcision, and they brought him right back in. And he slept with his dad most of the time. He fell asleep laying in my arms every now and again, but he mostly slept with his dad on his dad's chest at the hospital. Because my husband was sleeping on that little skinny couch. It wasn't like he could go nowhere, right next to my bed. So, yeah. So there is my birth story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will definitely be doing more story times, but if you want to hear more stories about my pregnancy, about my labor, about my delivery, just leave some comments down below and I'll make sure to get to those, and I'll make some of those videos for you guys as well. So again, we come to the end of the video. I thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. To my subscribers, thank you guys for coming back and watching more videos. You are the greatest. And to people who aren't subscribed watching this video, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button once. I don't know what that noise was. I don't know what it was. I'm sorry. I'll just thank you guys anyways for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.